Welcome to your Pilates workout. We will always begin with a warm-up. Remember, the goal of a Pilates warm-up is to build a solid mind-body connection and a sense of control. So the movements are subtle on purpose. Tune in as best you can and use your mind to control each little part of your body and your breathing. We'll start with the breath. This first exercise is called breathing flexed forward. Find a seat with a vertical pelvis and the knees bent at about 90 degrees with the feet planted on the floor in front of you. Take a moment to get adjusted. Find a neutral pelvis and spine. Feel free to sit on a prop to more easily bring that pelvis to vertical. Once you've got a vertical pelvis, you can consciously place your ribs, your shoulder blades, your head, and your neck. Staying tall and tension-free, take a Pilates breath in, belly, sides, chest, and back. Exhale through pursed lips like you're blowing up a balloon, closing the ribs at the end with the abdominals. Again, breathe into your 4 areas. Inhale. Exhale, beginning with the pelvic floor and tibia contracting simultaneously. Get all the air out. Keep the breathing style the same, and let's add some movement. Take an inhale in your tall neutral position, and exhale, begin from the top of your head, roll down slowly till you're looking between your knees, keeping neck in line with the spine and shoulders out of the ears. 2 breaths here, inhaling deeply and exhaling completely. Inhale and fill up. Exhale like you're blowing up a balloon. Stay for 1 more breath in. On the exhalation, start at the base of your spine and roll up 1 vertebra at a time, setting your ribs and shoulder blades intentionally over the pelvis, lengthening your ears away from your shoulders. Stay tall, breathe in. And on the exhale, roll down from the top, still aware of neck and shoulders. 2 breaths here. Inhaling deeply, exhaling completely. Inhale and fill those 4 areas. Exhale, pelvic floor TVA at the same time. Keep exhaling until the ribs close with the abdominals. Stay for 1 more breath in. On the exhalation, start at the base of your spine and roll up 1 vertebra at a time, setting the ribs and shoulder blades intentionally over the pelvis, lengthening your ears away from your shoulders. Now, clear some space behind you. On your next inhalation, reach your arms forward and stabilize your scapulae. Exhale from the base of your spine, slowly roll down to the mat. See if you can touch each individual vertebra, 1 at a time, using the abdominals to control your descent. Once you get to your back, run through your basic principles checklist and set everything up in neutral. Pelvis, rib cage, scapulae, head, and neck. Feel free to place a blanket beneath your head at the right height so that the center of your ears line up over the center of your shoulders and your chin is perpendicular to the mat. Once you've got everything in position, feel yourself in neutral. Just feel it and breathe there for 2 rounds in the Pilates style. Feel free to place your hands on the sides of your ribs to feel them expand laterally, or you could place your fingertips just inside the hip points to feel your corset muscle contract. Once you've really felt for the breath, we'll move on to isolate the pelvis with an exercise called imprint and release. Find your neutral. Breathe in and neutral. As you exhale using the abdominals, only find imprint. Stay. Breathe in. Slow exhale, return to neutral, keeping abdominal engagement. Stay in the neutral position. Breathe in. Exhale, just a slight posterior pelvic tilt, keeping the glutes relaxed. Stay. Stay imprinted. Breathe in. Exhale, slow, return to neutral. 1 more time. Inhale in neutral. Exhale, find your imprint and hold. This time as you inhale, keep the pelvis stable and lift your right knee to tabletop. With your stable neutral shoulders, exhale, lift your left knee to join the right knee. Inhale, the right foot goes forward as it comes down. Exhale, with control, bring the left foot forward and down. Inhale, bring the left knee to tabletop. Exhale, without scrunching, lift the right knee also. Inhale, the left foot goes forward and down. Exhale, bring the right foot forward and down. Inhale, return your pelvis slowly to neutral, keeping the abdominals engaged, and then return to your Pilates breath. Really tune into it. Moving on to hip release, making sure that you have plenty of room to slide your legs out in front of you, settle back into your neutral alignment. Our goal here is to keep the entire basic principles checklist stable and both heels on the floor at all times as we mobilize the leg in the hip socket. So once you found your neutral position and you've got room for the legs, inhale, the right knee gently opens to the right as the leg slides straight in front of the hip. Exhale, internally rotate the leg and drag the heel back to the starting position. Twice more, just like that. Inhale, leg turns out and extend. Exhale, leg turns in and bends. Inhale, out and extend. Exhale, in and bend. Return to the start. Same leg, reverse directions. Inhale towards the midline, extend. Exhale, turn out and bend. Twice more. Inhale, internally rotate and extend. Exhale, externally rotate, drag that heel back in. Last one, inhale. Exhale, use the deep core, and then same thing but switching legs. Inhale, left knee gently opens to the left, leg slides out. Exhale, internally rotate, drag it back in from pelvic floor and TVA. Twice more. Inhale, out to the side, extend. Exhale, drag it in. Keep those shoulders neutral. Inhale, out to the side, extend. Exhale, in and return to the starting position. Same leg, reverse directions. Inhale toward the midline, extend. Exhale, externally rotate and bend. Twice more. Inhale, internally rotate, extend. Exhale, externally rotate and bend. Last one with the breath. Inhale. Exhale, slowly dragging that heel back to the starting position and finding your body in its neutral alignment, checking in with the breath. So transitioning from here to lying on your side for spinal rotation. Very important, make sure you run through your basic principles checklist here. It can be difficult to know where your body is in space when you don't have the feedback from your mat to tell you. So you've got to build that body awareness mentally. So once you're on your side, check in. Where is your pelvis? Is it in line with your rib cage? Are your scapulae neutral? How is your head and neck? Feel free to grab a blanket and fold it a little higher so that your neck can be in line with your spine. It might be helpful to imagine your back is up against a wall, right? Just imagine that your pelvis, rib cage, scapulae, and head should all be touching that imaginary wall in equal amounts. Bend your knees to give yourself a more stable base, and the arms stretch out in front of you with the palms together. Our goal for this exercise is to keep the pelvis totally still and mobilized from the rib cage. As you inhale, the top arm lifts towards the ceiling. Exhale, turn the chest open towards the ceiling, allowing the head to turn as well. Stay, breathe into the side ribs. Exhale from the abdominals, rotate mindfully back to the starting position. Again, inhale, top arm lifts. Keep reaching. Exhale, rotate the rib cage open, turning the head. Also stay. Breathe in fully. Exhale, where the abdominals connect to the rib cage, use that to return back to the start. One more time. Inhale, top arm lifts. Exhale, rotate open and stay in your twist. Breathe in. Exhale, feel the abdominal attachment pulling you back to the starting position, and we'll switch sides. So once you've come to the second side, take a moment to use that imaginary wall again and use your blanket again, set everything up in neutral. So again, once you found your neutral, our goal is to keep the pelvis as still as possible. And then let's move with the breath. As you inhale, the top arm lifts towards the ceiling. Exhale, turn the chest open. Allow the head to turn, stay in rotation. Breathe in. Breathe into the side ribs. Exhale and use your abdominals, rotate all the way back to the start. Inhale, top arm lifts. Exhale, hips don't move, rotate the rib cage. Stay. Breathe in fully, deep into the side ribs. Exhale from the core, slow motion return to the start. Last one, inhale, top arm lifts. Keep reaching, exhale, rotate open. Your head can turn as well. Stay, hips are still stable, inhale. Exhale, return everything slowly, mindfully back to the start, and we'll transition to all fours for cat stretch. Set everything up intentionally. Again, since in this position you don't have the feedback from the mat against your back, you have to train your body to find neutral on its own. So once you're on all fours, how is your pelvis positioned? Are your ribs in line? What about your shoulder blades? Are your ears centered over the center of your shoulders with your chin perpendicular to the floor? Find that position, feel it, and breathe into it in the Pilates style. We're going to synchronize breath and movement and mobilize the spine from its base. Find your neutral alignment and breathe in there. As you exhale, beginning with the pelvis, draw the hip points towards the belly button, and one by one, see if you can feel each vertebra moving into flexion, the shoulder blades separate, and finally the top of the head drops. Stay. Feel your inhalation. Exhale, and again, beginning with the pelvis, lift the tailbone, drop the hip points, and one by one, feel the vertebrae create a gentle spinal extension, lifting the chin slightly at the very end. The abs are still turned on in this position. Stay, breathe in. Exhale from the bottom to the top, one vertebra at a time, move into an even flexion, allowing the neck to be part of the spinal wave. Once you get there, stay. Breathe into all four areas. Exhale from the bottom to the top, sequentially articulate the spine into extension, keeping abdominal engagement, lifting the chin slightly at the end. Stay. Breathe in. Last one, as you exhale, articulate bone by bone. Feel your body. Careful not to shrug the shoulders. Stay. Breathe in. Exhale, slow motion, starting from the tailbone. Bring your spine into extension, one bone at a time. Stay. Breathe in. This time, as you exhale, see if you can bring everything consciously back to neutral alignment. Rib cage in line with pelvis. Collarbones broad, broad on the front of the collarbones, broad on the back of the shoulder blades, ears in line with shoulders, back of the head gently floating towards the ceiling, and the chin perpendicular to the mat. Stay here, breathe, and feel your body in this very intentional position. Train your body to learn neutral alignment. When you're ready, you can set your hips to the side and bring your legs around to the front. Make sure you have plenty of space behind you. Bend your knees, plant your feet, reach your arms. Stabilize your scapulae in neutral. Take an inhale with a vertical pelvis and neutral spine. Exhale, starting at the base of the spine. See if you can touch each bone one by one to the mat using abdominal control. Once you are on your mat, run through your checklist to find neutral. So check your pelvis, your ribs, your scapula, your head and your neck. Make sure everything is tension-free. Feel free to use that blanket. Bend your knees so that your heels are just about beneath your knees for hip rolls, another spinal sequencing exercise. Find your neutral. Take a breath in. Exhale, imprint the pelvis, and then begin peeling your spine off the mat from the bottom until you're resting your weight on the back ribs. Stay, breathe in. Exhale, starting from the back ribs, roll one vertebra at a time, back down, moving through imprint on the way back to neutral. Stay in neutral, full breath in. Exhale, from the tail, roll up, bone by bone into a bridge shape, keeping the abdominal connection at the top. Stay and breathe in, expanding the sides and back ribs. Exhale, starting at the top, articulate through each vertebra as you come down through imprint to neutral. Last one here. Inhale in neutral. Exhale, first using just the abdominals to imprint the pelvis, then using glutes and hamstrings to lift and roll up. Careful not to overarch the lower back or pop the ribs open at the top. Stay in bridge, breathe in. Exhale, slow motion, set each vertebra down one at a time, moving through imprint on your way back to neutral. Make sure you are still breathing intentionally and smoothly. Scapula isolation is next. So keeping everything in neutral, walk your feet slightly further away from your hips so that your knees are bent at about 90 degrees. Take an inhale and lift your arms so that your fingertips are pointing toward the ceiling. Exhale, let the weight of your shoulder blades rest heavy on your mat. Find your neutral, feel it. Notice your broad collarbones. Feel what neutral scapulae feels like. This is home. Now, our goal is to keep everything else stable and only move the scapulae in and out of neutral. Inhale, separate the shoulder blades away from the spine, protract. Exhale, return to neutral. Feel the width across the collarbones. Again, inhale, protract, widen across the upper back. Exhale, return to neutral. Feel it. Last one like this. Inhale, protract. Exhale, neutral. Now the other way. Inhale, retract, drawing the shoulder blades in towards the spine. Exhale, return home. Inhale, retract, shoulder blades pulling closer together. Exhale, neutral. Feel the width across the collarbones and the upper back. Last one, inhale, retract. Exhale, mindfully return to neutral. And you can release your arms back by your sides. Moving on to arm circles, our focus is on keeping the spine neutral and stable, especially the pelvis and ribs in this exercise. Only the arms and shoulder blades will move, and you'll ideally feel the shoulder blades glide across the back of the rib cage. Start with everything neutral and tension-free. Inhale, arms towards ceiling and overhead. Keep your abdominals turned on and your bottom ribs touching the mat. Exhale, arms swim out to the side and return to the hips. Same direction, twice more. Inhale, arms up and over. Move slowly, no popping ribs. Exhale, arms out and down. Last one, inhale, arms up. Maintain that core connection. Keep the back ribs on the mat. Exhale, out and down. Now reverse directions 3 times. Inhale, out to the sides and overhead, keeping abs on and ribs in. Exhale toward the ceiling and down. Inhale out and with control overhead. Exhale up and down with control. Last one, inhale out and overhead. Exhale up to the ceiling and return to your starting position, finding everything in neutral. Run through your checklist. Check in with your collarbones. Make sure you're not protracted. We're going to mobilize the scapulae a bit more with elevation and depression. Keep the collarbones broad the whole time here. Careful not to let the shoulders round forward. Inhale, elevate, slide shoulders toward ears. Exhale, depress, staying true to your Pilates breathing for good neuromuscular conditioning. Inhale, elevate slowly. Exhale, depress, drawing the tips of your shoulder blades down and in towards the spine. Once more with the breath. Inhale, elevate. Exhale, depress. Careful not to round forward. Now return your shoulder blades to neutral. Check in. Make sure that they're not protracted or retracted. They're not elevated or depressed. Can you find the neutral in the middle? Last part of the warm-up is head nods. We need to train the body the way we want it to move before any time we curl the head and shoulders off the mat from supine or lying on your back. So for this exercise, the back of the head remains on the mat the whole time. It's a very slight tilt of the chin to lengthen the back of the neck without jamming the chin to the chest. This movement is subtle and it only happens on the first 2 vertebrae of the cervical spine. Starting in a neutral position on the inhalation, gently tilt the chin down so your gaze moves beyond your knees. Exhale, return to neutral, chin perpendicular to the mat. Inhale, head nod, back of the head stays on the mat. Exhale, return to neutral. Again, inhale, lengthen the back of the neck, letting the gaze move just beyond the knees. Exhale, chin perpendicular to the mat. Stay. Take a conscious Pilates breath in and out. And you're finished with your warm-up and ready for your workout.